राधा कृष्ण यत्ते सुजात चरणाम्बुरुहं सुतनेषु भीता शनि तुयमहि दधि कर्कशेषु. Gopis are telling that you are running behind these cows. Their lotus feet, so many insects are entering your lotus feet. When we see that these thorns are entering your feet, we become scared. What we should do? Your lotus feet are more soft than lotuses. Your feet are very soft. We are scared to keep your lotus feet on our breast, because when we keep your lotus feet on our breast, then we keep them very slowly, very gently, because our breasts are very hard and we are scared that the hard breast of us might hurt your lotus feet. But oh Krishna, your lotus feet are kept so softly and gently and delicately and slowly on our breast. But you are walking in the forest, you are running behind the cows, and so many sharp edges of the pebbles and shoots of these grasses might be hurting your feet. Then Krishna, what he did, he took the end of his dhoti and tied it around his neck, folding his hands, taking blade of grass between his teeth. Krishna is like the Cupid who enchants even the material Cupid. He came and fell down at the feet of the gopis. He came to ask forgiveness from the gopis. So you understand that how Krishna has to take shelter of Radhika. Krishna wants to serve Srimati Radhika. If you really want to serve Srimati Radhika, without kirtan you cannot obtain Krishna. If you want to obtain service of Sri Krishna, then you will have to do kirtan. So gopis, when they were separated from Krishna, they performed loud kirtan of Krishna's name, form, qualities and pastimes by singing Gopi Git. So Sachinandan Gaurari has also told that when you chant the Krishna Nam, 7 effects will come in your heart. Cheto Darpana Marjanam Bhava Maha Davagni Nirvapanam. All the material pangs of material existence will be extinguished if you chant the Harinam. If you want to please the devotees, if you want the mercy of the Dham, the root cause of all the means of obtaining the perfection, all perfection is Nama Sankirtan. So gopis perform Nama Sankirtan. How they perform Nama Sankirtan? Although Krishna is completely unconquerable, gopis conquered him by the power of chanting the Harinam, by chanting Krishna's glories. And Krishna joined his palms and folded hands. Krishna appeared in front of the gopis by the power of their Nama Sankirtan. So there is no other means of completely controlling Krishna other than Nama Sankirtan. One gopi told, oh, Krishna has returned. He has returned and he is wearing the same garland which he was wearing before he disappeared from Raslila. And he is wearing the same yellow garment which he was wearing during Raslila. So Krishna wanted to show that my love for you is intact. Don't worry, I am wearing the same garland which you had strung. So Krishna's beauty was so mesmerizing, it could have defeated billions and billions of cupids, would have been defeated hands down by Krishna's beauty. Srila Sanatana Goswami says in Sri Brihad Bhagavatamritam. So according to Ashraya Jatiya devotee, the beauty of Vishaya Jatiya Krishna will increase. So if the receptacle of love has more capacity to hold beauty of Krishna, then the object of devotion Sri Krishna's beauty will increase more. If the devotees are of higher quality, then Krishna's beauty will be more. If devotees' capacity is less, then Krishna will manifest less beauty. So Krishna will manifest his beauty according to the quality of the devotees he is addressing to or is he meeting. So some gopis had their veils. These veils were covered by the saffron powder from their breast, and they laid those veils on the ground and made sure that Krishna sat on those veils. Some took hold of Krishna's feet, some gopis caught hold of Krishna's shoulder, some caught hold of Krishna's hand, some gopis caught hold of Krishna's feet and began to massage those feet. So in this way all these gopis again became sulky. Then in this way all the gopis sat there. Later on again Radhika became sulky and she left Rasila again. So from a long distance Radhika was looking at Krishna. So that gopi was standing at a distance, that was Srimati Radhika. She was showering sharp shooting arrows from her sidelong glance, and she wanted to injure Krishna's heart by sharp arrows which were released from the corner of her doe-like black eyes. She wanted to completely injure and completely break his heart by her sidelong glances. And Rupa Manjari, Rati Manjari, Lavanga Manjari, Lalita, Vishakha are walking behind Srimati Radhika, and Krishna is agitated and flapping like fish out of water in suppression of Srimati Radhika. I had made arrangement for Ras Leela, but that arrangement is now not working. Then Krishna began to search for Srimati Radhika. Then there is one place called Seva Kunja. Krishna went to Seva Kunja. Radhika had disappeared again, and Krishna kept on searching for Radhika. And then he found Radhika at Seva Kunja. So I had to describe little bit before I tell about Seva Kunja. Then Sam Sundar sat on the veil of the gopi, which was covered by the saffron powder from their chest. I want to tell you very sweet sentiments from the heart of Gurudev. I want to tell you the deep sentiment in the heart of Srila Gurudev. Why Srila Gurudev wears the clothes which are saffron? Shri Sachidanand Gaurahari is wearing saffron clothes. This is, if you see the color, if you see the clothes worn by Srila Gurudev, many sannyasis they wear the red clothes. Many sannyasis wear different red color clothes. But look at Srila Gurudev. Many saintly persons wear saffron color clothes. Why they wear saffron color clothes? Why Sachidanand Gaurahari? Why he wore the saffron color clothes? What is the reason behind this? Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has written one song called in Chaitanyashtakam. In that first verse he has told this color is not ordinary color. Why Sachidanand Gaurahari chose the saffron color? Why this saffron color is because the saffron color clothes of the sannyasis is the color of the saffron powder from the breast of the gopis. So the saffron powder which gopis apply for increasing their beauty on their chest, that same saffron color particles are the color of the clothes of the sannyasis. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also took that same complexion of the saffron powder from the breast of the gopis. So because in sannyasi one will take the vow of serving Mukunda Krishna for all life. So sannyasi means Srila Gurudev describes very wonderful. So you are saying, what is the lower cloth? The lower dhoti worn by sannyasi, there is a meaning of that. The upper cloth which is worn by sannyasi, that is the upper cloth of sannyasi, there is a meaning. So Srila Gurudev, so you should understand that sannyasis clothes are not ordinary clothes, they have a deep significance. Don't try to step on even the shadow of a sannyasi. Sannyasis are so important that if you step on the shadow of a sannyasi, that will not be good for your spiritual life. The sannyasis are most worshipable. Even if you step on shadow of a sannyasi, it will be a big offense. So be very careful while dealing with the sannyasis or with their shadows. Bhakti is very rare. Bhakti is sudurlabha. Just you have put on Kanti Mala, you are chanting 16 rounds or 32 rounds. No, this is not so easy. You have to be very careful with sannyasis. Limpanti Anana Kucheshu. So Krishna is being pampered by the gopis. Gopis are chatting with Krishna and they are joking with Krishna. Oh Krishna, we have some questions. Please answer those questions. Then Krishna is asking gopis, what questions you have? Tell me. Those who don't love. But there are some people who love those who don't love them. Who are those people? There are some people, whether you love them or not, they don't love you back. But some people will love. And then Krishna is telling that mother and father, they will love the children. Children may or may not love mother and father. Children may care for their father or mother in the old age or not, but mother and father always take care of their children. They always think of the welfare of the children. This is the category of mother and father. They have selfless love. They don't expect anything in return. They love their children without any expectation. So this is the first category of people. But there are some people who love in the exchange for love. So those who exchange love, those who exchange love, those who love in the exchange for love, they are the businessmen. They are not parents, they are not friends, they are not real lovers, they are not devotees also. Krishna is, the gopis want to attribute some class to Krishna, but Krishna is telling that I am not a businessman. I am not loving you for the sake of love. But some people, they are completely neutral. They are completely free from any sides or any partisanship. Whether someone loves them or someone doesn't love them, they don't care. They are completely situated in equanimity. Then Krishna told that there are some people are there are Atmaram. Atmaram means there are some people who are completely satisfied within the self. Aptakam means all whose desires are satisfied and those who depend on anyone else for their satisfaction of desires. Those who are always sporting within their self, those who are always sporting within their soul, in their own self, they are Atmaram. So Krishna is telling that I am Atmaram. But Krishna told that I am not Atmaram because I depend on you for my satisfaction. I eat with you, I dance with you, I sport with you, I depend on you for my happiness. How can I be Atmaram? Manas Chakri. This is an Atmanepad Dhatu. Manas Chakre. There are two types of verbs in Sanskrit. Atmanepad is for the sake of oneself. When verb is used, that is called Atmanepad verb. But Parasmaipad is meant for someone else. So there are two usage of verbs in Sanskrit. So Krishna is telling that if I am self-satisfied, then how would desire for Rasala would have come in my heart? I am not self-satisfied. All my desires are not fulfilled. I am not Atmaram. I am not Aptakam. But especially my love and affection is for Radhika. I want to test the love of all the gopis. Especially I want to test the love of Srimati Radhika. So therefore I am not Atmaram. I am not Aptakam. The third category is told Guru Drohi. Means one who is Kritagya, Akritagya, Kritagha, Akritagya or Kritagna. Means one who is great. He is not grateful. Ungrateful person is called Kritagna. One who never worries about the good activities someone has done to us and does not reciprocate with that person favorably, but rather forgets all the charity given to him, all the help someone has given him in distress. He forgets that help. But Krishna is telling that I want to give love in exchange for your love. So why did you disappear from Rasila? Krishna told that I wanted to reciprocate your love with my love. Then Krishna said that I want to reciprocate my love for your love. But Gopis told, why did you disappear from Raslila if you wanted to reciprocate with us? Krishna told that I disappeared from Raslila to increase your love. When I disappeared from Raslila, your love increased. Srila Gurudev gives an example. The gold develops some impurities when it is put in dirt. So if any impurities are in the gold, then if you want to purify the gold of the impurities and other alloys of lower class, then you have to heat up the gold in the fire. So then the gold is purified. So your love had some contamination, and to remove that contamination, I have heated up your love, which is like gold, by the fire of separation, and now all the impurities have contaminations from your love have disappeared or molten away, and now your heart is purified like gold. If very wonderful mango is there, how that mango should be ripened? Many people use the carbide powder and they apply it on the green mango, then it will become ripened very quickly. So Srila Gurudev, sometimes I have seen also in the mud, I have seen in Gurudev's garden that very wonderful fruit trees to be there. In the garden of Srila Gurudev, many mango trees were there. Srila Gurudev used to say that we should collect all the green mangoes. Then if you used to collect the mangoes, green mangoes, and if you put them inside the wheat, then what will happen due to the heat generated by wheat? Then mangoes will become ripened in no time and the green mango will become yellow mango. So similarly, the heat of the wheat will ripen the mangoes and make them yellow and juicy. So similarly, Krishna wanted to make the love of the gopis sweeter. So therefore, Krishna arranged for the mood of separation by disappearing from Raslila and created a mood of separation which is like hitting the love of the gopis to purify it even further, to mature it further, to make it sweeter further. So if my cloth has become dirtied, if I apply surf and everything, then I will take some surf, then I will wash my cloth. Then immediately my cloth will become purified and very, very clean if I use the surf. So there are so many lust, greed, anger, madness, envy from millions and billions of lifetimes are present in our heart. Our heart is full of the black spots. So by ordinary Harikatha, by ordinary chanting and ordinary Harikatha, they will not go away. If you really want to take away all the spots on our heart, if you want to cleanse your heart by your pure love, what you should do? Then you should cry, you simply weep, this fire of separation of weeping continuously. So due to that hitting hot tears and continuously weeping, then the spots on our heart which are there for millions and millions of lifetimes will be cleansed totally. In Ramayana it is said that Bhagavan Sri Ramchandra has told to Vibhishan that I don't like the heart that is contaminated, which is duplicitous. Only when the heart is pure, Krishna can be obtained. So Lord Ram said to Vibhishan that I am not obtained by those who have contaminated heart or duplicitous heart or wicked heart, crooked heart cannot obtain me. Only by the pure heart one can obtain me. Weep and weep and weep and pray to Krishna. You know, this is the school for weeping, and we should continuously shed profuse tears. I want to stay in Vrindavan. Oh Radhika, when will I do parikrama Vrindavan? I will stay in Vrindavan. I will take bath every day. I will take bath in Radha Kunda, and I will come to Mangalarti every morning. and every single breath I will utter your name. Every single inhalation and exhalation I will say Radhe Radhe. This is my only aspiration. And we should always pray, O hey Vaishnava Thakur, O Vaishnava Thakur, show mercy unto me. O Vaishnava, show mercy upon me. O Vaishnava Thakur, you are the ocean of mercy. Please show mercy upon this fallen person. What you should do? You should manifest devotion in my heart. So that devotion will manifest in heart. Only by the advent of devotion in our heart we will be able to understand Krishna. O Gurudev, O Vaishnavas, O holy abode of Krishna, O dust of this holy abode, all of you should shower mercy upon me so that I can be able to accept the mercy of goddess of devotion in my heart. So simply by weeping like this, if we weep like this, then our heart will become cleansed. Then the devotion will manifest in our heart. So this is very important. So Shyam Sundar is telling, O Gopis, in order to make your fruit of love to ripen, I disappeared from Rasila. So my heart has now molten. Now this fruit is worthy of my enjoyment, because now your heart which is like a fruit now has ripened by the heat of separation, and now this fruit is relishable for me because it has now completely ripened. I am eternally indebted to you. I cannot repay you even if I obtain the lifespan of Brahma. Or there are so many mellows. The mellow of neutrality is there, mellow of servitorship is there, the mellow of fraternity is there, mellow of conjugal love is there. I can repay the devotees in all these four mellows, from neutrality to the parental love, but I cannot repay the devotees who serve me in conjugal mellow. O Guru, you are my spiritual masters. O Gopis, you are teaching me the lesson of love. So therefore, Gopis, I consider you to be my spiritual masters. I am not the offender to the senior Vaishnavas. I am not Guru Drohi. I am not Atmaram. I am Aptakam. Then Gopis told that Krishna is a really naughty fellow. He has not come in any of our traps, and he has rejected the proposal of being in one of the four categories. He has refused to become classified in any ways. Then Krishna began to search for Srimati Radhika. So the wonderful place called Seva Kunj is there. There Krishna began to search for Radhika. He saw that there were two Sakhis were standing at the gate of the Kunja, and Krishna told, I am today very angry. No black person I want to see. I don't want to see any black object. Today my hair should be tied by a cloth so that I don't want to look at my black hair. No black fellow should be able to enter my Kunja. Giving order like that, two Sakhis were kept at the gate as the gatekeepers. Shyam Sundar has come, and Krishna has a very wonderful crown of peacock feathers on his head. Shri Krishna even by the strength of Srimati Radhika, the maid servants of Radhika have so much power that they can even stop Sri Krishna and they can make Krishna's life miserable. So the maid servants of Radhika can make Krishna's life miserable. So Krishna is falling at the feet of the lotus feet of the two gatekeeper Manjaris, putting his peacock feather crown at the feet of Manjaris. Krishna is weeping and rolling at the foot dust of these Manjaris, but Manjaris are not letting Krishna inside without the permission of Radhika. Lalita was thinking that if Radha Krishna don't meet, then their condition will be worsen and they will enter into emotional turmoil. So therefore Lalita, taking compassion upon Krishna, allowed Krishna to enter into the Kunja. internally Radhika is. So the sulky mood is only external, but internally Radhika is also hankering for meeting with Krishna, but externally she is holding on to the sulky mood. So Radhika, so Lalita thought that Radhika is also suffering, Krishna is also suffering, so why not put an end to this suffering? So then Lalita went inside to Radhika and had some consultation, held some consultation with her, and then but then Radhika revealed her heart to Lalita. She told Lalita, I cannot hold any patience anymore. I want to meet Krishna. My heart is completely restless to meet Krishna. Oh Lalita, please save my life. Save my life by making sure that Krishna meets me. Then Lalita says, don't worry Radhika, I'll be back in a moment. And then Lalita comes out of the kunja and she meets Krishna and she tells Krishna that now you should not do sulky mood anymore. Lalita is telling Radhika, oh Radhika, now you should not become sulky. If you do sulky mood now, then there will be no Ras Leela. Now you are suffering in separation. Krishna is also suffering. So don't increase the separation of yourself and also Krishna. Don't be sulky anymore. Then Radhika, on hearing the words of Lalita, he says that. Then Radhika is telling that, oh Lalita, you should arrange that my man is pacified quickly. Make sure that my man is pacified. Then Lalita came to Krishna. Srila Gurudev had narrated this mood to us at Sakshi Gopal in Orissa. On the station of Sakshi Gopal, Srila Gurudev had narrated this to us. Lalita is telling Shyam Sundar, you should write a letter and you should write that I am. Then Lalita is telling Krishna that if you really want to pacify Radhika, you should write the letter, and at the end of the letter you should write your servant Sri Krishna. You should declare yourself to be the maid servant of or servant of Radhika, and you should rub your nose at the feet of Radhika. Then only Radhika will forgive you. So hearing that, Krishna became very ecstatic. Immediately his mood of separation disappeared. Krishna immediately got up. Krishna wanted, when will I get the good fortune to write a letter and sign it? Your humble servant Krishna. So Krishna became very ecstatic. Krishna rubbed his nose at the feet of Radhika, put a crown on his head at the feet of Radhika, rolled in the feet of a dust. Then Radhika took Krishna in her hand and both of them came to Ras Leela, and nearby Radhika was decorated by her maid servants and everyone's desires was fulfilled. Then Krishna danced ecstatically with Srimati Radhika. So you shouldn't think that Ras means only dance. No, Ras is not just dance. But there are so many types of pastimes are there. The pastimes of meeting, pastimes of separations are there. So meeting pastimes and separation pastimes are prominent in Krishna's pastimes. All types of pastimes are present in Rasa Leela. Therefore it is said that Jai Jai Rasa Leela Sarva Manohar, Jai Jai Jwala Rasa Sarva Rasa Sar. And this Rasa Leela is the ultimate pastime. All the mellows are present in this Rasa Leela. Even Brahmaji, even one night of Brahma. So for one night of Brahma, this Rasa Leela is going on. So one night of Brahma means 1000 Chaturyugas. Some people say that 6 mega millenniums this Rasa Leela went on. Some say that 1000 mega millenniums means 1000 Chaturyugas. This Rasa Leela went on. Trillions of years this Rasa Leela went on. Krishna, then after the Rasa Leela was finished, Krishna told gopis that you should return home. Will our people of our household, will they accept us in the fold of family life? Then Krishna told that. But Krishna never told gopis that Purnamasi Devi has arranged for the duplicate gopis at your home, in your place, to make your placeholders. Krishna never told the gopis like that. But Purnamasi Devi had kept the duplicate of every gopi, Lalita, Vishakha, Rangadevi, Sudevi, everyone's duplicate was made by Yoga Maya, and these duplicate gopis were next to their husbands. They were never husbands, never felt any separation from their wives. So after taking bath, all the gopis returned. But every gopi thought that every mother-in-law, every husband thought that gopi had just got up and has taken bath. So all the gopis came home, but no one noticed that they had gone to Raslila and had danced for one night of Brahma. So yesterday also it took us 1 hour. Yesterday it took us 1 hour, and today also it took us 2.5 hours to discuss this Harikatha. So long time it took us for discussing Harikatha. Please forgive me if you really want to hear more about 5 chapters of Raslila, then a book called Rasa Panchadhyaya has been published by my Gurudev. Then the commentary of Srila Jiva Goswami Pad, the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Thakur Pad, and the realizations of his own devotional service he has written in that book called Rasa Panchadhyaya. You can read there. Then Maharaj was finished. After this, then Shankhachud demon was a Yaksha, follower of Kuber, was delivered. Then one Asur, the demon came there. Then that demon was named Keshi. That Keshi demon, he came there. He had the shape of a horse. Keshi demon came in the shape of a horse. He was like a gigantic horse. He was a huge, tall, very long horse. He was such a huge, gigantic horse that the hair on his neck was flapping, and when this hair on his neck was wavering, then so many clouds in the sky were dispersed. He was touching the sky. Huge horse was there. Madhumangal told Krishna, "Oh Krishna, you should listen." Oh, Madhumangal said, "Krishna, you should listen what I am saying." Madhumangal said that I understand very clearly. These gopis are there. They always feed you. They feed you butter and sugar, everything to you, because you have the black blanket, you are wearing yellow garment, you have Vaijayanti mala around your neck, you have peacock feather crown on your head, and therefore here all this decoration attracts the gopis. If you give that decoration to me, then they will feed me laddus and butter balls. So Krishna, he told Madhumangal. Then Krishna gave his peacock feather and the black blanket to Madhumangal, and gave his entire adornment, all his decoration and all his clothes he gave to Madhumangal and took on Madhumangal's clothes. Keshi demon asked Kamsa that how will I recognize your enemy? Then Kamsa told Keshi demon that one who is having peacock feather on his head, who has a flute in his hand, who is wearing yellow garment, he is your enemy. So Madhumangal was wearing all this paraphernalia of Krishna. So when Madhumangal saw this, when Keshi demon he came, he saw Madhumangal, he realized this is Krishna. And then Keshi demon showed a little trailer of the things to come, and little bit of his hind leg, he tried to kick Keshi demon. Keshi demon tried to kick Madhumangal, and only by the mercy of Narayan, Keshi was not hit by the hind legs of Keshi demon, but he flew in the sky and fell so many kilometers away, right next to Krishna. And then Madhumangal said, "Take your peacock feather crown, take your flute, and take your yellow garment. I don't need this paraphernalia. What a ferocious horse had come behind me, and he was trying to kick me by his hind legs. Somehow Narayan saved me, otherwise, but I flew up in the sky like an intercontinental ballistic missile and fell near you. So this is dangerous. I don't want your paraphernalia. It's too much dangerous to wear a dress like you. You have so many enemies." So Madhumangal exchanged all the clothes with Krishna and got his dress back of a Brahmin boy. So we should also be very careful. This is an instruction for us here. What we do, we change our clothes. We quickly change our clothes. We sometimes wear white clothes, then we wear the red clothes, then we wear yellow clothes. We try to change our external dress. We are very expert in wearing the dress of an initiate, but we don't change our heart. Our Mirabai, she is telling that, oh yogi, oh mystic, oh sadhu, you have changed your clothes, you have changed and you have dyed your clothes, but you have not changed your heart, you have not dyed your heart. So Vaishnav Babaji, Paramahamsa Das Babaji says that, you have helped me in Vaishnav religion, but you should now, Vaishnav Das Babaji in Jaiva Dharma is telling that I want to give up this dress of a Mayavadi, I want to give up this dress of an impersonalist or monist. So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, Vaishnav Das Babaji, don't worry about your dress. His Guru told him, you should rather try to engage in devotional service. Bhakti Devi may manifest in the heart naturally. Simply by changing the dress, nothing will happen. Don't give stress on the clothes or uniform. So we should also learn that we should take white clothes. Our heart has not become white. Our mind has not become white. Our nature has not become white. Why we are wearing clothes to show others? Why you are wearing white clothes? I will tell you. I never knew when I became white. I never realized when I was teaching in the degree college. Our uniform. This was our uniform. We used to always wear white. We had to wear white shirt and white trousers. So this was our dress. So when I used to see this dress, Gurudev used to become very happy. So somehow Gurudev should be satisfied. So when Gurudev used to see the white uniform of my school, then Gurudev used to become very happy. So I thought Gurudev likes this white cloth. Then he used to become very happy. I never wore any very effulgent clothes. When I was a child, mother might have put on me a colored frock, but I don't remember. I always wore very light colors right from the beginning. So Srila Gurudev, so for the satisfaction of Srila Gurudev, I am wearing these clothes. I have no problem wearing black clothes. If Gurudev wants to be happy, then if he wants to put black clothes on me, then I want to wear black clothes. My desire is to satisfy Gurudev and not to wear any particular color of clothes. Don't give stress on the clothes. Go give stress on the devotion. That is more important. So Srila Gurudev again put on his peacock feather. Krishna again put on the yellow cloth. So nearby is the place called Keshi Ghat. On the bank of Jamuna, one very tall and very ferocious demon was there. Then Krishna caught ear of that horse by one hand. Then Krishna put his fist in the mouth of this horse. Then Krishna's hand became so hot. Then that particular horse began to flap. How I can take out this hand which is burning like a hot iron rod in my mouth? But Krishna's catching of his fist is very strong. Krishna will never catch anyone. But if he catches anyone, he will never leave that person. So when Krishna caught hold of the ear by left hand, he caught one ear of this Keshi demon, this horse demon, and other hand he had put in the mouth with a complete closed fist in the mouth of this Keshi demon. Then Keshi could not swallow and could not chew on Krishna's hand, and Kashi left his body. Krishna took the life of Keshi. Krishna killed all the demons. Krishna took the life of all the demons. But Shachinandan Gaurahari, so merciful, also Nityananda Prabhu, also very merciful, he didn't do that. Srila Sanatana Goswami Pad says actually Sanatana Goswami says that Krishna did not kill the Arishtasur or did not kill also Keshi demon, only kill the mood of demon in their heart, only destroy the demonic moods in their heart. Then what did Sanatana Goswami says that? And Krishna what he did, he took this Arishtasur, this bull demon, and he took that Arishtasur and made him into his pet bull and yoked him to a bullock cart and sported with the gopis in that bullock cart. Also, Arshtasur is described. Then we have to go to the pastimes of Dwarka also. After sporting with gopis, Krishna came to Radha Kunda to sport with the gopis. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he went to Radha Kunda, that time there were two fields were there. Radha Kunda and Sham Kunda were not revealed there, and there one village was there by the name Arit. He asked the residents of this village, where is Radha Kunda, where is Sham Kunda? That time they told, there is no Radha Kunda or Sham Kunda here. There are two fields are there. One is the black field, another one is the white field. So Sham Sundar, he came to so from the black field, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu realized that this is Shama Kunda, and the white field he realized that it is Radha Kunda, and he established Radha Kunda and Sham Kunda there. So now Radha Kunda and Sham Kunda are now well built and very wonderful bathing places are there. But this renovation of Radha Kunda and Sham Kunda, the credit goes to Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami never used to touch any money. He was a penniless Vaishnava. He always used to wear a Brahmin underwear, a kaupin, and used to engage in devotional service. He was not very worried about any material things. He used to take little bit of buttermilk every day. Sometimes he used to drink the buttermilk, and sometimes he would remain absorbed in the pastimes. Sometimes for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, he never used to be in external consciousness. He used to remain absorbed in internal consciousness. So how is it possible for anyone like Raghunath Das Goswami, who is not interested in any money, how he could renovate this Radha Kund and Sham Kund? So there was one particular time Krishna ordered Raghunath Das Goswami, one merchant will come to you. That merchant will bring some money, and with that money you should renovate Radha Kunda and Sham Kunda, and you should make sure that Radha Kunda and Sham Kunda has wonderful bathing places. That time Raghunath Das Goswami told Krishna that I will not accept money from any merchant. That time Krishna told him, don't take money, but you should only engage him in renovating Radha Kunda and Sham Kunda. So when that merchant came from Badrinath by the order of Badrinarayan, then Raghunath Das Goswami engaged him in the service of Radha Kunda and Sham Kunda. So today, by the mercy of Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, we are seeing the wonderful form of Radha Kunda and Sham Kunda. So some places Radha Kunda and Sham Kunda are swept clean. I one time went in the company of Srila Gurudev for cleaning Radha Kunda and Sham Kunda. We saw the Kankan Kunda. In the middle of Radha Kunda there is Kankan Kunda is there. Kankan Kunda means a kunda made by the bangle of Srimati Radhika. I cannot describe this. I saw with Gurudev this Kankan Kunda. One time I went with Srila Gurudev. We went to see Radha Kunda. What we see at Radha Kunda? Now this darshan sometimes we get between Radha Kunda and Krishna Kunda. So where we change clothes, there is one Shila is there, that Giriraj Shila is in that temple. Between Radha Kunda and Sham Kunda there is one temple. Inside that there is a Giriraj Shila there. You know Shamaji. What is the name of Shamaji? You know Radharani is also called Shama. This is a very very deep mood is there. Why Radhika is known as Shama? It is not possible to describe this in the public. This is the mood of the heart. We should this Giriraj Shila is in the presidentship of Srimati Radhika, and milk was coming out of this Giriraj Govardhan, and that stream of milk was entering into Radha Kunda. It almost 21 years have passed, and I have seen by my own eyes a stream of milk was emanating from this Giriraj Shila of Shama, and it was entering into Radha Kunda. So I have seen this. Even now The residents of Radha Kunda say that once a year definitely milk will come out of this Giriraj Govardhan, and it is not necessary when will it happen. So no one takes the good fortune of knowing. But when I went to see Srila Gurudev, then I saw that how the milk was emanating from Giriraj Govardhan Shila and entering into Radha Kunda. So there was a village by the name Arit, and there was by the name Arishtasur was there. This demon by name Arishtasur came there. He had taken the shape of an ox or a bullock, and and Sham Sundar saw that these gopis are scared of this ox. So Krishna killed this ox because he was a demon. Then Radharani went away from Krishna and told Sakhis that Krishna should not come to me. Oh Krishna, Radhika's order is that you should not touch her. So then Krishna asked, oh Sakhis, why should not I touch Radhika? Because today you have killed a cow today. I have not killed a cow or an ox. Today I killed a demon. Whatever it is, he was in the shape of a cow. So you have to go now, and not only that, you have to go to all the holy waters in India, but also you have to go to all the holy waters in this entire universe, and you have to bathe in the waters of all the holy waters of that universe. Then you'll be purified. Then you can come and touch Srimati Radhika. What to do? Krishna didn't know what to do. Krishna didn't worry about anything. Krishna just dug one kunda by his flute, and he remembered, oh Gangotri, come here, Jamunotri, come here, Haridwar, Sharayu, Alaknanda, come here, and all the holy waters quickly. Some came there in the human form, and they folding their hands, they said, Prabhu, what your order is there? Why you have remembered us? Then you should all now come and enter into this Sham Kunda. You should enter into this Kunda which I have dug by my flute. So then all the rivers, they become liquid and water, and they all enter into that Sham Kunda. Then Sham Sundar bathed in that water. So Gopis said that this is really very intelligent, and he has bathed in the water of all the holy waters in a moment, and he has become pure. Now what we should do? Now Kishori also, so Kishori just turned her heel. When Radhika just turned her heel, then she pressed her heel on the ground, and resting her entire weight on the heel, Radhika made a 180-degree turn, and immediately one kunda was formed. So kunda was created by the stroke of Radhika's heel. But where will be the water? So where to get that water from? So Radhika is a Swadhin Bhartrika. So Radhika, she said, I will not take water from your kunda. So all the gopis, they wanted to go to Kusum Sarovar, and they carried millions and millions of pots on their head, and millions of gopis on the instruction of Radhika went to Radha Kunda to Kusum Sarovar to collect the water from Kusum Sarovar. Then Krishna told all the holy waters, if you really want to stay in Braj permanently, then my mercy will not give residence here. You will have to take mercy of Srimati Radhika. So if you want to stay permanently in Braj, then I am staying myself by the mercy of Srimati Radhika. So you will have to take shelter of Srimati Radhika. Then you will get a residence in Braj. So this is Brajendrandan Sham Sundar. Krishna is accepting that only by the mercy of Srimati Radhika I am staying in Braj. Not by my own mercy, but by the mercy of Srimati Radhika, one will get residence in Shri Braj. Then all the holy waters, they took the human shape, and they sat on the path of Radhika. They stopped Radhika, and they started this agitation of blocking the road. And they told Radhika asked the Sakhis, who are these human beings sitting on the road? what they want, what they desire from us. Lalita told that these are all not human beings, these are all the holy waters. Lalita came and asked, why you come here, what you want? Then every holy water gave introduction. I am Pushkar, I am Gangotri, I am Jamnotri. We have come here. Radhika should accept our service. Radhika, she is most merciful. Radhika is very merciful. She should accept me in her service. So thinking like this, Radhika became very merciful, and she told all the holy waters, you should also be able to serve us. So then all the holy waters enter into the Radha Kunda, and they filled up Radha Kunda. Those who take baths in Radha Kunda, then they have no need to take bath in any other holy water. After taking bath in Radha Kunda, so Western devotees, they have not experienced this. Some Indian devotees are sitting. You ask them, I ask them, please tell me, in Kumbha Yoga, so much crowd is there in Kumbha Mela. So many trains go for Kumbha Mela in Haridwar, in Ujjain, in Nasik, in Rishikesh. Everywhere, so after so many years, Kumbha Mela takes place in Haridwar, Nasik, Ujjain, and Allahabad, Prayag. The 4 places there is Kumbha Mela is arranged. Everyone from India goes to take bath in Kumbha Mela. Even Vrindavanvasi, not a single Brajavasi will not go and bathe in Kumbha Mela. Everyone goes there. So Kumbha Mela is a very popular event for all Indians. All Brajavasis also run to take bath in Kumbha Mela. I don't want to go. Many times they tell me also, you want to come. I never had any desire to go to Kumbha Mela. Even before I met Maharaj, I had no desire to go to Kumbha Mela. I was always attached to Vrindavan. I never had attachment to any other place. Why there is used to be crowd in Kumbha Mela? Why people go to Kumbha Mela? Can anyone give the answer? But there is a nectar of immortality was there in Kumbha Mela. So the water, the drops of nectar, when Garud snatched from the hand of Indra, then the drops of nectar of immortality fell in these 4 places. So if you bathe in the water during the time of Kumbha Mela, when the sun will enter into the sign of Leo, then you will get immortality. But if you bathe in Radha Kunda, then you get the benefit of there is no Kumbha in Vrindavan. In Vrindavan there is Kumbhi. In Vrindavan there is assembly of Vaishnavas are there. How sannyasis should be there. Who will bathe? Arrangement is made from Vrindavan. At the time of Kumbha Mela, there is one particular time called royal bathing time. It's Shahi Snan. That time huge crowd of many sannyasis goes and bathes in Ganga, Jamuna, Saraswati. So for 1 hour, I never leave Vrindavan. I never like to leave Vrindavan. I don't know when this Kumbh Mela takes place. I don't remember Haridwar or Prayag. But here Kumbhi, the assembly of sannyasis takes place here, and a meeting of sannyasis takes place here. That at the time of Kumbh Mela, how people will bathe, how the sannyasi will bathe. But why you are dying in this crowd of Kumbh Mela? Why you are paying so much money? They don't know why they are trying to bathe in the Ganga or Jamuna at the time of Kumbh Mela or Godavari. So why there is crowd? Because no one understands the significance of Kumbh Mela. Will you not prefer to bathe in Kumbh Mela? One time Srila Gurudev had told me that Gurudev told that one time in Prayag there was Kumbh Mela. So when there was Kumbh Mela in Prayag, then Shyam Sundar went there. So it is Shyam Sundar doesn't have to go to Kumbh Mela. But how my servants are there, how my maid servants are there, how they are serving me. So Shyam Sundar went there. He saw that there was Prayag was present there. He was very distressed. So Shyam Sundar asked Prayagraj, "Oh Prayag, all holy waters have come to you. So many guests have come to you. All the holy waters have come to you. You should. Why you are distressed? Why you are sitting here with dejected and with lowering your head?" Then Krishna asked Prayag, "Why you are distressed? Has any river, has any water has not followed your order? Has anyone disobeyed you?" Then Prayagraj told, "All the holy waters have come, all the holy waters, all the rivers, all the lakes, all the holy rivers and lakes of all the world have come to offer obeisances to me." But Prayag told that all the holy waters have come, but for Vrindavan, not even a small canal or a small sewage has not come from Vrindavan to offer me obeisances. So no lake, no river, not even one stream of sewage has not gone from Vrindavan to pay tribute or respect to Prayag. Then Shyam Sundar told Prayag, "I have made you the king of all the holy waters, but I have not made you the owner of my abode. Because Vrindavan is the own abode of Krishna, so why would any lake or any river or any particular stream of sewage will go to offer obeisances to Prayag? Because Prayag may be the king of all holy waters, but he cannot be just like wife will not look for any position, she wants to serve only her husband. So Braj is also like that. We should not worry about anything in Braj. In Braj, even without mercy of Krishna, Krishna cannot understand the glories of Braj. So who can understand the glories of Braj? So therefore, if you will go to Kumbh Mela and you will be showed around, you will be pushed around and you will become trapped in the deep crowd. Don't try to go to Kumbh Mela. We should try to understand this Braj is the eternal abode. So Srimati Radhika, this is the eternal abode. This is the lap of mother of Srimati Radhika. We should try to. Srila Rupa Goswami Pad always used to. One time he was weeping in Seva Kunja when Rupa Goswami was and Radhika came in the dream of Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami was weeping in Seva Kunja and asked Rupa Goswami, "Why you are weeping?" Radhika asked Rupa Goswami, "Without your darshan, without your service, I cannot stay alive. Please, I don't like Vrindavan. Please take me to the spiritual world." Then Radhika told Rupa Goswami that you are crazy. You don't understand. Vrindavan is my lap. You are sitting in my lap. This is Seva Kunja. Then Radhika began to smile. So on Shravan Dwadashi day, so then Rupa Goswami entered into the eternal pastimes. So this is Sridham Vrindavan. This is the lap of Srimati Radhika. This is the own abode of Srimati Radhika. How we are fortunate. We have got residence in the abode of Srimati Radhika. We are sitting in the lap of Srimati Radhika. We are staying in the eternal abode of Srimati Radhika. Where else should we go? Where should we go? Which other holy place we should go? You may take bath in millions and millions of holy waters. Still one cannot obtain the dust of Vrindavan. But now you have got Vrindavan Dham. Where else you want to go? You should not go anywhere else. We should offer obeisances to all the holy places. We shouldn't try to go to anywhere else. So Srila Gurudev is describing the glories of this Radha Kunda. All the holy waters are present in Radha Kunda. One may bathe in so many holy places, but by bathing in all the holy places in this world, one will get the benefit of bathing in Radha Kunda. Because Radha Kunda in Vishnu Puran it is said that just like Radha is very dear to Krishna, similarly this Radha Kunda is also dear to Krishna, and there is no difference between Radha Kunda and Radharani. So Radharani is the liquid form of Srimati Radharani is this Radha Kunda, and there is qualitatively no difference between Radha Kunda and many people. Actually, people when they do parikrama of Giriraj Govardhan, they come to Radha Kunda. When they come to Radha Kunda, they wash their feet in Radha Kunda. They also rinse their mouth in Radha Kunda and spit in Radha Kunda. They take bath in Radha Kunda. How they are treating Radha Kunda? So Shri Sanatana Goswami Pad never used to go to Radha Kunda in the daytime. He used to go in the night time because people mistreat Radha Kunda in the daytime. So he never wanted to see that. If you don't get the service of Radhika, then what is the use of bathing in the holy waters? So Radha Kunda is Radhika herself. So we will commit some offense by putting our feet in Radha Kunda. But we also bathe in Radha Kunda. So I have seen my Gurudev also. My Gurudev has bathed in Radha Kunda very nicely. I have seen this matter. So why do we take bath in Radha Kunda? Although we have to put your feet in liquid form of Radhika. Srila Gurudev says that. So Rupa Manjari is there. Shri Rupa Manjari is there. She has herself said that those who faithfully and those who do parikrama of Radha Kunda and Krishna Kunda and those who offer obeisances at Radha Kunda and Shama Kunda and says that, oh Radhika, I am yours, I am yours, I am yours. I cannot live without you, I cannot live without you. Give me the shelter at the foot dust of your lotus feet. Oh, I worship Radhika who has lotus eyes. I worship Radhika who has a wonderful smile. I worship Srimati Radhika who is the ocean of mercy. I have no other shelter, I have no other shelter, I have no other shelter. So we should take Achaman in this Radha Kunda, we should take Achaman in this Krishna Kunda. Oh, and we should pray to Radhika, please forgive me. There is no difference between you and this Kunda. So Rupa Manjari has said that those who go and bathe in that Kunda, then they will get the chance and qualification to serve Srimati Radhika. So this is the most important thing. By simply bathing in Radha Kunda, one will get the qualification to serve Radha Krishna. So we go to Radha Kunda by the desire of obtaining the service of Srimati Radhika. Don't keep any other desire. So we should, with this desire, we should take bath in Radha Kunda. We should bathe in Radha Kunda with only this desire, and we should serve Shri Radha Kunda. So there is no difference between Radha Kunda and Sham Kunda. So now these people are giving me indication to stop. So I want to hear one kirtan, then the next katha will go on.